That's why some of us got some dysfunction. So we can stay out of other folks' business. Because you know how we are. Yeah, when we think we got it going on, y'all done got quiet now. We think we have room to start talking about people and pointing blame at people and trying to figure out other folks' sin. And yeah, I heard, girl, and they said, listen, but when you got your own dysfunctions, you learn like the Williams brothers, sweep around your own front door. Talk back to me before you try to sweep around somebody else's. When you got your own dysfunctions, you wake up in the morning and say, it's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Not my brother, not my sister, not my neighbor at church, but it's touch your neighbor, tell neighbor, mind your own business. You didn't say nothing to nobody. You didn't say nothing to nobody. Somebody can testify. Some of us, we ain't just got one dysfunction. Some of us will testify we got a whole lot of dysfunctions. And if we spend more time trying to mind our dysfunctions and staying out of other folks' dysfunctions and just praising God that he could use them the way he used them, despite the fact they're dysfunctions. I was talking to Erica the other day. She came up, she sat in the bed with me, and she asked the question. She said, Daddy, did you know about Dr. Martin Luther King? Did you know? And she was basically saying, did you know about his dysfunction? I ain't going to tell you what it was because I ain't putting him out there like that. I told her, yeah, I knew about it. I heard about it. But all I know is he was a great man. All I know is God used him in a mighty way. All I know, come on, talk back to me, is that we're still living the dream. All I know, if he had not had a dream, we would still be in a segregated society. All I know, if he had not stood up for justice and righteousness for men of all creed and color, all I know is we wouldn't be at the place we're at. And I ain't messed up about his hotel dysfunction. I ain't messed up about his traveling dysfunction. Y'all done got quiet now. You know what I found out? I'm going to say this since y'all done got quiet. We only point to folks' dysfunctions that ain't like ours. We don't ever talk about dysfunctions that we have. But we always bring up the stuff we've been delivered from. But can I suggest to you that just because you've been delivered from it, don't mean everybody else been delivered from it. And you ought to just have mercy on some folk because God had mercy. Paul was functioning in a manner that far exceeded his abilities. He had been where others had been, done what no others had done, seen what no others had seen. In the text, he talks about these revelations. His dysfunction was God's way of keeping him from getting conceited. Please hear me now. Your dysfunction, please hear me, is God's way of keeping you from getting conceited. Let me tell you this. This is going to be good. Without the weight of dysfunction in our lives, some of our egos would have caused us to float into the abyss. But our ego, have you ever noticed that whenever they give you a helium balloon that you just purchased, they always put a weight on it so that what you purchase does not float away in the abyss? Well, that's what your dysfunction is. It's a weight on your balloon so that your ego don't get so big that you have the audacity and the unmitigated nerve to point one finger at somebody while you got 3 or 4 pointing back at you. Your weight of dysfunction is so instead of you talking about it, you'll learn how to pray about it about somebody else. Your dysfunction is keeping you humble. And the word says if we stay humble, he'll exalt us in due time. I want to tell the folk that's got a dysfunction that's keeping you humble, don't worry about it. God's going to elevate you. And he's going to elevate. Let me tell you something. He's the only God I know that will promote you with a dysfunction. And some of you in here are due for a promotion. I didn't say because you've been perfect. I didn't say because you have no wrong. I didn't say because you ain't done nothing. I'm saying God is going to promote you because you stayed humble. The text gives us the other purpose behind our dysfunction, and I'll leave you alone. Not only is it to keep us grounded, but Paul asked God to remove it, and the Lord told him, my grace is sufficient. In other words, I'm not going to move it, but I'm going to give you grace for it. The last reason God purposely allows dysfunction is not only to keep you grounded, but I believe it's designed to keep you graced so that he can keep instilling within you the grace you need to function with a dysfunction. This dysfunction is so you can learn how to depend on God's amazing grace. This dysfunction is so you can learn how to rely on God and not rely on your own abilities. The grace of God is what's allowing you to do what you do right now. Grace is magnifying and manifesting in you. It's what's strengthening you right now. Paul heard the Lord say, for in your weakness, my strength is made perfect. Paul realized what some of us need to realize, and that is the trials and dysfunctions of your life are a constant reminder of your weakness and your need for his grace. You ought to look at somebody and tell them, neighbor, if it wasn't for the grace of God, y'all just sitting there looking at me. Tell them, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done. But God's grace, this grace is unmerited. This grace is unlimited, which means we don't deserve it, and it means God never runs out of it. Grace is God's ability in our disability. Grace is your can-do power and your can't-do poise. Grace lets you handle what you can't handle on your own. Grace gives you forgiveness when you've been hurt, peace when you're in trials, love when you're being prejudiced, liberty in your legalism, value in your your unworthiness. It gives you confidence in your insecurities. Grace is what Paul said, that by the grace of God, I am what I am. And if I'm talking to anybody that know that God has brought you from a long way, that God has used you in a mighty way, if you're not too mean, slip up on somebody and tell them, neighbor, by the grace of God, I am what I am. You should have seen me years ago, but by the grace of God, do I have a witness in here? If it wasn't for the grace of God, wouldn't be able to sing and serve, preach and praise, but you ought to thank God for his grace. Listen, evidently I found this out, that people that don't understand how folk can function with dysfunction are people that don't understand anything about grace. But when you know that you know that God looked beyond your faults and he's applied your needs, you understand grace. Can we just take a 20-minute praise party and just take 20 seconds right quick and start thanking God for his amazing grace. Amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Blind, but now I see. Look at 3 people right quick and say, neighbor, if it wasn't for the grace of God, I'd have lost my mind years ago. But grace, Battery. I brought one more thing to tell you. I said, I brought one more thing to tell you. And can I get you to help me tell the person next to you? Hold their hand. Hold it real tight. If you ain't gonna stop to everybody in here is holding somebody's hand. Tell them, neighbor, whatever dysfunctions God choose not to deliver you from, tell him he's able to deliver you through. Do I have any help in here? God is able to deliver you through it. If he don't deliver you from it, woo! Find somebody and say, if he don't deliver you from it, he's able to deliver you through it. He'll use you. He'll hold you. He'll help you. He'll keep you. He'll let you do what others say you can't do. Thank you for your grace.